Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sports Blitz here, and we're back with another NFL mock draft. Before we get into it, guys, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Guys, we're only 13 subscribers away from 1,200. That's insane. I only hit 1,000 like a month and a half ago. So thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate it. Guys, we are doing a lot of trades in today's mock, so sit tight, grab some popcorn, and let's get into it. So first, we're going to be starting with Aiden Hutchinson for the Jaguars. As you guys know, they franchise tagged Cam Robinson. Now, there's always the possibility that they could still try to trade Cam Robinson to get an extra pick and then still take Evan Neal. I don't think that's out of the question, but I think to say that after you franchise tag someone, they're automatically going to trade them, I think it's kind of far-fetched. So I went with the safer pick here, went with Aiden Hutchinson. I think that'd be best player available if they didn't want to, get Evan Neal instead. One thing to note, though, is they could still get Evan Neal and put him on the right side. I do still think he's better right now than I believe it's Juwan Taylor and Walker Little. So if they just want to make the offensive line as best as possible right now, they could still go with Evan Neal. But if they like Cam Robinson that much, Aiden Hutchinson will be the smarter long-term pick. So next, we have the Detroit Lions, and I'm going with Kayvon Thibodeau. I really think it's got to be edge rusher right here. And if not, I think it's slightly possible to go Malik Willis. I kind of have the sneaky feeling that Dan Campbell really liked him at the Senior Bowl. So it's very possible here. I'm not ruling that out by any means. But I think edge rusher is the most likely for the Lions. I've seen some mocks where they take, Kyle Hamilton or even Ahmad Gardner. I don't really see that here. I think if they go, best player available, they're going to try to do that, but fill a need as well. An edge rusher is definitely a need for them. So then for number 3, we got the Houston Texans taking Evan Neal. Like I said, you can plug him in the left or right side, and he will be able to be a franchise level tackle on either side. He is that good, that versatile. Texans would have a franchise tackle there. Plus, in the scenario that maybe Laramie Tunsil is dealt, which I hear they do want to trade him, I don't know how true it is. In the scenario that he's dealt, if Evan Neal's on the board right here, I think they absolutely take him. Then at number 4, the Jets take Jermaine Johnson. No, I've seen the Jets fan base be really split on this pick. I am a huge fan of Jermaine Johnson. Okay, I'm not a Jets fan myself, but I absolutely love Jermaine Johnson. I think he has mechanics very similar to like Von Miller, Hassan Reddick, maybe even like a Chandler Jones, to be honest. I really think he has that star potential. I think if he works out, I think he has at least the potential to be possibly the best edge rusher in this class. It's just all about if that potential is going to be reached in the NFL. So I'm really excited to see what he does. I think the Jets get an awesome pick right here. Number 5, the Giants take Kyle Hamilton. Now, I know what you're all thinking, Giants fans. Don't click off the video yet, okay? You'll see what's next, and it'll make sense to you, okay? But they take Kyle Hamilton. It's going to be essentially best player on the board. But I don't know. I guess before I explain that, let me just go into the next couple picks here. So what we've got is I set up a trade where Deshaun Watson is traded to the Carolina Panthers. I don't remember exactly what I did for the trade offer. It's probably not super realistic, which again, in some of these trades, guys, I know I'm not going to be able to mimic exactly what, these trades are going to be. Okay. I'm just having fun with it, trying to throw some trades in there. But I do think it is very possible Deshaun Watson goes to either the Panthers or the Seahawks. So in this case, we're going Panthers and, well, Texans pick at sixth. Reason that I had the Giants go with Kyle Hamilton is I feel like if they would have gone with Ikem Ekwonu instead right there, the Texans could have very well snagged Kyle Hamilton right here and completely screwed over the Giants' plans. But since the Texans already took Evan Neal, I don't think they would take Ikem Ekwonu as well, unless they really, really want to get rid of Laramie Tunsil and, but still fully rebuild that line. But instead, we're going with Ahmad Gardner here for the Texans. The dude's just an all-around baller. I think he's the best corner in this class. I've watched a lot of tape on him. He started out this offseason at my number 4 cornerback spot. Needless to say, he rose quite a bit. I've watched more and more tape on him. The dude is he's smooth with it. He's really good. But number 7, so I don't know why that's highlighted weird. The Giants now take Ikem Ekwonu. Giants fans, you can be happy. You got your tackle that I always have a mock to you. I was just trying to be, safe there so they can take Kyle Hamilton as well. Honestly, okay, coming into the season this last year, I expect the Giants to have a top 5 secondary. That was how steep my expectations were for that secondary. There were a lot of talented guys there. But they really underperformed. They really didn't look very good. And bringing in a guy like Kyle Hamilton will instantly really help that secondary. You cannot pass up on a guy like that. So where you can get him and a franchise tackle 2 picks later, I think you just got to do it. So then at number 8, the Atlanta Falcons go ahead and take Derek Stingley. Derek Stingley is my number 2 corner. I still think he can be a stud in the NFL. I've mentioned multiple times on this channel that I really believe that there are 7 corners here with a first round grade. Does that mean I think there will be 7 corners gone in the first round? No, it's just that's pretty unheard of. I think there will be 5 or maybe 6 taken in the first round. I just think 7 is a little bit steep, but that's just how deep this class is. There are some incredible corners in this class. But yeah, sorry, I don't want to get too far away from Derek Stingley here. I think really the only concern that NFL teams will have with him is his injury concerns, which really, yeah, it's a valid concern. But when you have a guy, of that caliber on your board right there, and you can pair him up with AJ Terrell, have possibly one of the best cornerback duos in the league, it's hard to pass up on that, especially where as early as or as recent as 2 years ago, they had one of the worst secondaries in the league. I mean, I'd say that's pretty significant. So, number 9, we have the Seattle Seahawks taking Malik Willis from Liberty. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw this coming. I mean, best quarterback on the board, still there after the Seahawks traded Russell Wilson. Which let me know what you think of that trade in the comments section below, by the way. I'll be honest, I didn't expect Russell Wilson to be traded. I don't know. I kind of expected both him and Aaron Rodgers to not be traded. But my expectation was that if Aaron Rodgers was traded, he would go to the Broncos. But yeah, I really expected the Seahawks to keep Russell Wilson. But nope, they go ahead and get Malik Willis here instead. I think it's an incredible pick. I think he can very well be their franchise quarterback. And honestly, I don't think it's going to lower DK Metcalf's production very much. I think he's going to mesh really, really well with DK Metcalf, especially with how good of an arm Willis has. I'm excited to see it. So number 10, the Jets go ahead and take Treylon Burks right here. He's still my number one receiver in this class. I know a lot of people lowered him on their boards, after the combine, and yeah, it wasn't as good of a combine for him as we expected. Um, but realistically saying, a 4.55 for a guy of his size is not bad at all. Okay. I know it's not freakish like, Calvin Johnson or even DK Metcalf running it a couple years ago, running like a 4.33. I know it's not freakish like that, but let's be honest, Treylon Burks is more of a, big contested catch type of guy. He can really do a lot after the catch. He can break tackles just by his size. He's not gonna be a guy that you have running a fly route and you expect him to burn these corners and safeties. No, you expect him to be good at getting those contested catches. So, but I think that's going to be a good weapon for Zach Wilson. Number 11, the I have the Washington. I don't know why they never fixed that, but Washington Commanders taking Charles Cross from Mississippi State. They traded for Carson Wentz earlier in the week. I was kind of surprised by that. I thought Ron Rivera was going to be a little bit more patient and see what happens with Deshaun Watson. But I guess after he saw that Russell Wilson was gone, he was like, okay, screw it. I got to go get a quarterback. So he got Carson Wentz right there. Really, okay. Carson Wentz isn't amazing, okay? I'm not going to act like he's the top of the league quarterback, but he's not quite as bad as as we say. He did throw 27 touchdowns to only 7 interceptions, so pretty dang good passing stats, to be honest. But kind of his issue was the fumbles that were coming. He fumbled 8 times this last year, so really 15 turnovers in a season. That's not great. You want to see him do better there. So in order to help him with that, we're giving him Charles Cross from Mississippi State. Really try to help that Washington offensive line, give him the best chance possible to succeed. And really, I think if you give him a decent O-line, let me pause. Let me pause there, okay? I know the Colts had a really good offensive line, and I know he still fumbled, but the more protection you can give him, the better he'll do. So let me just clarify that right there. But no, I think that'll be good for him. Plus, he has better receivers here than he did in Indianapolis. So here we have another trade. The Baltimore Ravens trade with the Vikings. Basically, the Ravens wanted to jump the Browns to get Trayvon Walker. I think this is a situation that, especially with Jadeveon Clowney not re-signing, likely with the Browns, I think Trayvon Walker would definitely be a guy that's on their board and that they'd probably want to take right here. For the Vikings, where Ahmad Gardner and Derek Stingley are off the board right here, I think they'd love to trade back a little bit. Basically, what the Ravens did here was they swapped picks with the Vikings, but then the Ravens also sent them a 4th and a 6th, really for 2 spots where there's not a guy that you value high enough right there anyways. I think that's pretty good for the Vikings. But then the Ravens get the guy they really want and prevent a divisional rival from getting the guy you want. So I think that's a good trade for really everybody involved except for the Browns. But the Browns go ahead and just get Garrett Wilson instead from Ohio State. I mean, yeah, the dude is a really good route runner, really fast. He ran like a 4.38 at the combine. I think really regardless of who the Browns have at quarterback, in the future, I think he's a good fit there. I think he's a good receiver that'll fit really about any type of system, to be honest. Like, I think he's fast enough that he could fit like a Chief system that, extends the field quite a bit. But he could also be, in a system like the Patriots where they really, really rely on run after catch. A lot of wide receiver screens, just short wide receiver routes, because he's a really good route runner too. So I think he'd do really well in about any system. Number 14 here, the Vikings go ahead and take Jordan Davis from Georgia. This is both a best player available type of situation because Jordan Davis absolutely crushed the combine. I had been saying before, he is deserving of a first rounder, probably top 25 to be honest, but especially after the combine, man, he crushed it. I think he is a lock for top 20 pick. So I absolutely love this dude. But the Vikings also needed some help on that interior D line. I know they weren't able to get the corner they want. But like I said earlier, this corner class is so freaking deep. They could get one in the second round if they wanted to. But yeah, I think Jordan Davis would be an immediate huge upgrade for that D line. And then the Eagles, yeah, they go ahead and get Devin Lloyd. You guys already know about that. Eagles go ahead and get Andrew Booth here. I really debated on Trent McDuffie right here, but I decided to go with Booth again. I think he'd pair up really well with Darius Slay. I mean, I just think it makes too much sense. I've seen a lot of hate on Booth. I don't really understand it. I've watched his tape quite a bit, and yeah, against big body, like really big receivers like Mike Evans, yeah, he may struggle with them a little bit. But against really about any other type of receiver, like, he's fast enough he can match up with the I don't want to necessarily say Tyreek Hills because, not many corners do match up with him, but he can match up with the speedier receivers. He can match up with the better route running receivers. It's just you got to watch out for, the really big guys that can, beat him in contested catches. But at 17, we have the Chargers taking Zion Johnson. As you know, they traded for Khalil Mack earlier in this week, and I was really surprised how little they had to trade for him. That was an absolute win for the Chargers. Getting him for a second and a sixth, I believe it was. Like, that's incredible. Good job for the Chargers there. And then earlier, I think it was this week, they re-signed Mike Williams to a 3-year extension. So that kind of ruled out wide receiver for me as well. And I think they really want to get this offensive line as good as possible for Justin Herbert. And I think they've done a good job with that. Obviously, they got Rashawn Slater. They got Corey Linsley. I could honestly see them going after a right tackle in free agency, or maybe even be in the La'el Collins trade sweepstakes with the Cowboys, for right tackle. But as far as a guard, they get Zion Johnson here. I think this offensive line is really going to come together this year. I'm excited to see what the Chargers can do. I mean, they've got a lot of cap space. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting to see. Sorry, you can see the next two picks here. I think it's okay. Saints, I usually go with a receiver here. I do, but it's seeming less and less likely that they're going to re-sign Jameis Winston, which I think is kind of dumb on their part. I think they should re-sign Jameis Winston, but I think it's seeming less and less likely. So in this scenario, we're having them take Kenny Pickett from Pittsburgh. I mean, I think this dude, I think his ceiling is a not quite as strong-armed Justin Herbert. I think he's just as mobile, if not more mobile, than Justin Herbert. But he sees the field so well. He is a really, really smart quarterback. Yeah, I know he's not going to be a guy that can launch the ball 65 yards downfield the same way Herbert can. But he's really talented. He can really help that Saints offense. So here at 19, the Eagles take the other Ohio State receiver, Chris Olave. I was surprised they messed up his unofficial time that much because it was initially that he ran. It was initial that he ran a 4.26 at the 40. But then it officially ended up being a 4.39. I don't know how you mess it up that much, but yeah, either way, he's really fast. He's a really, really good route runner. I think either way, he's going to be a really good weapon for Jalen Hurts. Or even if they manage to land Deshaun Watson instead. Now, I don't know. If they get Deshaun Watson here, they may not have 3 first-round picks, so I don't know if they'll even have the option here. But really, if they do, like, Chris Olave is just a good option all around. So, number 20, the Steelers go ahead and get Trevor Penning. I've explained this multiple times. I've had him mocked to the Steelers multiple times. They really need to rebuild that offensive line. They want really tough tackles that can move guys, really aggressive guys. Penning fits that description perfectly. Not much more to say there. 21, the Cowboys trade up with the Patriots. Really, all that was needed here was the Cowboys just needed to send a 4th-round pick as well, but they go ahead and get Tyler Linderbaum. I am not a huge fan of their center situation, and Tyler Linderbaum is easily the best center in this class. You could even make an argument for him maybe being the best interior offensive lineman in this class. I think the Cowboys would absolutely love to make an upgrade like this. And really where all it takes is a 4th rounder to trade up to get him. I mean, I think it's an absolute steal for the Cowboys. And Patriots fans, hold off for just a second. I think you'll like the pick that I mocked for you guys. 22, the Raiders get Kenyon Green. This is why the Cowboys felt like they had to trade up, because the Raiders would probably have snagged Tyler Linderbaum right here anyways. I think the Raiders really want to... I think they would be wise to start fixing that offensive line a little bit more. I don't think Alex Leatherwood really worked out too well this last year. It's not a great offensive line anymore. It's really not. I think it needs help. And Kenyon Green can definitely be a big improvement to that. Sorry, you can see the next 2 picks here. Cardinals get best available corner here, and that is Trent McDuffie. Usually I have Kyrie Elam right here. McDuffie and Elam are like neck and neck for me. I'd even throw Roger McCreary in there. Those 3 are so close for me. I feel like one of those guys will fall out of the first, and I don't know which one. I've seen so many people not as high on Kyrie Elam. I really like the kid. I think he's an incredible corner, but I just have a feeling he's going to fall out of the first. But McDuffie, I've seen a lot of people really like him. I've heard a lot of talk about NFL teams really liking him, so we're having the Cardinals take him. But as you can see, for the Patriots, they are taking Nakobe Dean. This is who I probably would have had them take at 21 anyways, so they go ahead and just get an extra 4th-round pick out of it anyways. I mean, Dean is just an absolute beast. Bill Belichick really loves his linebackers. They released Kyle Van Noy earlier in the week. Really, Nakobe Dean paired with Dante Hightower would just be insane. I think that'd be an awesome linebacker duo. Then the Bills go ahead and get Devontae Wyatt, the other really talented D-tackle from Georgia. Georgia's defense was just insane this last year. Really, really good. Bills really just need to fix the trenches, um, offensive line and defensive line, with really the top offensive linemen off the board. We're going with Devontae Wyatt instead. I think it's best player available that can also fill a need. Titans, we go with Daxton Hill. This is because, I mean, their secondary wasn't that great this last year. Kevin Byard, I mean, Byard's always been really, really good. In my mind, he's always been a top 10 safety, but really, I'd say, especially the last couple of years, he's been a top 5 safety. I think Christian Fulton had a pretty solid year as well, but I mean, throwing Daxton Hill in there would make that secondary so much better. Teams wouldn't be able to, just pass on them all day anymore. So I think it's a good pick for the Titans. Bucks go ahead and get Drake London from USC. I mean, they did end up franchise tagging Chris Godwin, so he will be back this year. But either way, you can't really fill that void that Antonio Brown left, because even though he's crazy in the head, it's hard to replace a player of that caliber, even, this late in his career. So really, you get Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Drake London. That's going to be really freakishly hard for defenses to stop. So I think that is going to work out really well for the Bucks. Then the Packers go ahead and get Jameson Williams, really, really fast, deep threat that would work really well for Aaron Rodgers. I think he'd love to have him. And really, I'll be honest, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have quite a bit of say on this pick. And I think he'd like having a good deep threat like that. Then the Dolphins go David Ajabo, get some pass rush help. I think he complements Azeez Ojulari really well. Or not Azeez Ojulari. He's on the Giants. What's his name? I'll be right back. Sorry, it was Jalen Phillips. I don't know why I said Azeez Ojulari, but Jalen Phillips. I think he'd really complement him really well on the edge. Yeah, I just really like that combination. But then 30, the Chiefs go ahead and go George Karlaftis, really get some pass rush help. I don't think Frank Clark is a free agent this offseason, but either way, I mean, I don't know how much longer he's gonna last because he's getting paid like $20 million a year right now, and in my eyes, he really doesn't deserve that. I think he's pretty overrated. So I think George Karlaftis would be a good both replacement for him, but also if he plays this year, I mean, you could put Karlaftis in at the other edge position and have a much better pass rush. Then the Bengals go Tyler Smith this time. I think he can be a really, really good guard in the NFL. I usually have Bernard Raymond right here. The dude had a really, really good combine, and I'd been saying before, like, yeah, it may take a year or two to develop, but if he does really pan out, you can have a franchise tackle there. I think either one of those guys will be a great pick here. But Tyler Smith, I think, is pretty slept on. Where the Bengals really need offensive line, I think this is absolutely a consideration for them. Then lastly, Lions go ahead and go with Roger McCreary. Go ahead and help that secondary. I mean, you already helped the pass rush, helped the pass defense now. That defense will get miles better with him and KT. So I'm excited to see where that goes, especially with Dan Campbell. I mean, he's really good at coaching defenses in general. I'm really excited to see that. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think of this mock draft in the comment section below. Again, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Later.